The Nostalgia Showdown League is a baseball simulation based on the 2000-2001 era MLB Showdown baseball card game. If you're not familiar with MLB Showdown, or even if you are, here's a quick rundown on our house rules. All player cards have a chart in the bottom right-hand corner of their card. Batters' charts make it more likely that the batter will get on base, whereas pitchers' charts make it more likely that the batter will get out. To determine which chart is referenced for each plate appearance, the pitcher rolls a 20-sided die and adds that to his control in the upper right-hand corner. If that number is greater than the batter's on base, it is the pitcher's advantage and the pitcher's chart is used. If the number is equal to or less than the batter's on base, it is the batter's advantage and the batter's chart is used. There are no balls or strikes. Each side rolls once to determine the outcome of the plate appearance. Pitchers also have an innings pitch value that notes how many innings they can pitch at full strength. For every inning they pitch past their innings pitch value, their control drops by 1. So Pedro Martinez would be a control 4 in the 8th inning and a control 3 in the 9th, etc. Most relievers are only at full strength for 1 inning, but there are some that can go 2 innings at full strength. Starters cannot come in relief, and if a relief pitcher pitches past his innings limit, he needs a full game of rest to come back at full strength. If he isn't given a full game of rest, he enters the game -1 control. And that's about it. Outside of pitching changes, there's not a lot of decision making. There's no defensive considerations, no player positioning, no pinch hitting, sacrifice, tries, injuries. It's all predetermined outcomes based on the roll of the dice. All 30 teams from the 2001 Major League Baseball season have a spot in the NSL. Welcome back, Montreal. But we did move the Houston Astros to the American League West to balance the divisions. Each team needs 1 player per position, plus a DH, and 7 pitchers, 3 starters, and 4 relievers. To fill the rosters initially, we used the pre-existing 2001 cards as a base and made adjustments where necessary. To introduce some chaos into this universe, we randomly generated ages for all players once the rosters were set. All players age 1 year during the offseason, and players are increasingly more likely to retire as they approach their late 30s. In order to replenish the player base, a mid-season amateur draft is conducted where teams can stock their farm system with prospects. The top 60 picks in the MLB June amateur draft of the corresponding NSL season populate that season's draft pool, with some room for creativity. These prospects are given a potential grade from A to F based on their real-life success. MVPs and multi-time All-Stars are graded as A's and B's, and career minor leaguers are D's and F's. A prospect will go through 2 progression cycles, once per offseason, where a dice is rolled to determine if they get better or worse. Those with higher potentials have a better chance of getting better, whereas those with lower potentials have a better chance of getting worse. Back in the majors, players are also under contract based on their age. All 26, 30, and 34-year-olds are in the last year of their contract and will test free agency if the team doesn't re-sign them. But there is some randomness involved in re-signing too. A team can maximize its chances of re-signing a player by limiting the number of contracts they offer, but it's never a 100% guarantee. But if the 2 sides can't come to an agreement, the player enters the off-season free agency draft, where the worst teams from the previous year have a chance to rebuild their terrible teams with established major league talent along with their prospect base. The FA draft is also home to the International Prospect Pool, where elite international talent from all over the world are draftable prospects who can be stashed in the minor leagues along with the mid-season amateur draft prospects. Each team has a 27-game regular season. There are breaks during the season to re-sign impending free agents, an all-star break, and the July 31st trade deadline. At the end of the season, 5 teams in each league make it to the postseason, the 3 division winners plus 2 wildcard teams. The NSL postseason mimics the current MLB postseason format, where the wildcard teams have a 1-game play-in to advance to a best-of-5 LDS, then a best-of-7 LCS, and finally a best-of-7 World Series. Voting for MVP, Cy Young, and many other awards takes place at the end of the regular season.